That's cool. That's what moving. Yeah. I always do the last 2 years, then I didn't know because it's just from standing outside.
Okay, I will call this meeting to order. We have more, we have everybody today, and we're gonna start with pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's so nice. Okay, we will jump right in. We have a lot of visitors today, so we'll get going. If I can get a motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second, all in favor? Motion passes. And if I can get a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes. Okay, we will jump right into presentations. You're up, Malachi. Start off with our student representative report.
Yeah. All right. It's been a little while since the last one.
Well, we've been tracking these too.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
I'll start counting them now. No, yeah, it's been a little bit. Sorry, it's been really busy. I didn't really cover what the November, the November one. But I thought I'd catch you guys up to speed for what's going on currently. So first off, winter sports are fully underway. Boys basketball is currently 9-4, ranked 15th in OSA, according to 30 minutes ago. They have a game versus Sisters, which is the first league game this Friday. That's at 7:30. Again, that's their first league home opener, but they did play Sisters and won. Or not Sisters, Pine and won, but played Sisters this Friday. All the leagues, all the teams kind of mixed together. Girls basketball, 9-4 as well, ranked number 4 in OSA. They play versus Sisters as well. Their game time is 6 p.m. Cheer got third last weekend at the Thurston competition. They have a competition this weekend at Sweet Home, and they'll compete at State on February 13th. Wrestling has a match on Friday and Saturday. It's a 2-day tournament with 33 schools. That's a lot of schools. They have a home duel against P Hill and Sutherland on the 28th. So that's a big one to probably mark on your guys' calendar. I'll leave that up there just for a couple seconds. Winter activities. The winter break assembly was on December 19th. It was a staff versus student basketball game. It was our senior class with a couple of juniors, but mainly seniors. And they had different challenges. So they pull a different challenge, and it would be like, you have to try to dribble without your hands. And it would be like crazy, just different things they have to do for a minute. And then the staff would get a minute challenge. And I believe the staff actually ended up winning. So, yeah. We also had dress up days that week that students could participate in for prizes, as you can see on the right side there. Monday was pajama day. Tuesday was quarter zips and matcha versus flannels and coffee. Wednesday was holiday character day. Thursday was candy cane couture, and Friday was ugly sweater day. The annual CSP and holiday album, which is the reason I was not here last time, was released on the 24th and included a range of students and staff. There was a staff song that was really great. So if you guys would like to hear that, I wouldn't know that to you. Not saying I'm a great singer or anything, so no, I don't think I was really good at singing. We have our winter sports assembly this Friday on the 16th. From 10 to 10:30. So if you guys would like to come to attend, you don't need to go. Important dates coming up. You have the high school design summit, which is tonight from 6:30 to 8. So that's going to be going on here in about 25 minutes. The league home opener for basketball again is on the 16th. That's when varsity play will begin. CSD will be broadcasting that, and we did just get booth headsets, so that's a big deal. And so that's really nice. Shout out to Chanel. And then the home duel for wrestling again on the 28th, and to be determined according to the wrestling guys. The Winter Sports Recognition Assembly again this Friday, the 16th. On to NHS. NHS did their family Christmas fundraiser. They bought presents for 2 different families. They spent $900 per family. The top sellers got to go shopping for the kids and deliver the gifts to the families. So that was a really cool opportunity. They also had the annual diaper drive. This year, they packed 13,275 diapers in 2 hours. It was a lot of diapers. It was a lot to count. But no, it was a lot of fun. It's a really cool organization that delivers diapers for kids that are in need within Lane County. Really great organization. Today, we also did Bags of Love, which help out kids, and they're a really awesome organization as well. If you've never heard of them, definitely check them out. They can always use volunteers. So we're getting an exchange student. This is pretty cool. I got to learn about this today. His name is Marcos. He's coming from Madrid. He's 15, and he'll be shadowing Lance Risdall. And he flew in around noon today, and we'll be attending school tomorrow until about late February. So that's going to be pretty cool. Seniors. Seniors have been gearing up for after high school. We had our college application week, which was about a month ago now. And we had a grade level meeting this week in regards to scholarships. So we've been working through all that, trying to get seniors signed up for all the different scholarships that are coming up with deadlines and spring scholarships. Everyone has been working on their senior projects as well. So I've seen some pretty cool different job shadows that kids have gotten to go on. We had a kid that just toured the Lundquist Business College for the Nouveau. Got started working with their dean, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, a ton of students have been doing a ton of different projects. Shout out to Carl, because I got to be mine over the summer, and that was a lot of fun. The superintendent student group got to meet last Friday with Human Capital and talk about kind of what characteristics they'd like to see in their next superintendent. I also got to be a part of that, which was a lot of fun. And the students expressed that they were really excited and happy and appreciated being involved in the process. So shout out to you guys. Students really appreciated it. That is all. That's my update. So, any questions? Any questions about any of the stuff? There's no one, no?
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, next up, invite Rafalia for the CES student leadership presentation. Okay, all right. Thank you for having us. Welcome to our very impressive presentation. You guys are gonna love this. Also, first and foremost, just wanted to wish you all a happy School Board Appreciation Month. Thank you for all that you do for our students and staff. We really appreciate the time you put in. We have a presentation for you titled Building Safety, Belonging, and Leadership at Creswell. With me, I have Austin, Violet, and James, who are 3 of our 20 5th grade leadership students here at our school. We have a very robust group of students who are very involved in lots of ways across our school. Back in December, I let them know that we were going to be coming to present to you all about Crest Lane and asked the students, what do you want to tell the school board about? What do we want to brag about? What are the things we want to tell people? If we were going to sell the school and want people to come here, what would we tell? And oh boy, I have lots of things. So we had to pare it down. We had about 3 hours of content, so we'll save some other for another time. But we did land on 4 different topics. I'm going to be speaking specifically to you about the Child Protection and Safety Unit. We're going to speak about our supportive staff, our positive
school climate and culture, and then how students are encouraged at our school. All right. So first up is the child protection unit. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail only because we talked a lot about this last year when we went through our health adoption. So you guys know a lot about the Aaron's Law and the sex abuse prevention programs that we are required to implement, as well as all the other health standards that cover a wide range of safety topics. And so our new health curriculum definitely covers those. Our teachers are really thrilled and happy with the materials that they have to use in instructing their students. This month, we have dove into our child protection unit, which is a unit we purchased as a supplement to Second Steps, which is our previous SEL curriculum. This program specifically touches on Aaron's Law and all of the health standards that are related to safety. So I thought it'd be really important for you guys to know how that is taught to our students. But first and foremost, just to keep you guys apprised of our staff part, that they're receiving annual trainings, are in service with the vector trainings, we review policy with our new health curriculum and the supplemental SEL. We spent quite a bit of time as a staff on health standards and instruction in general and implementing that. So they've received a lot of training in that regard. And then of course we do review all of our building procedures with them, and sometimes those are being refined as different situations occur. And so we do make sure that our staff are really aware of how we do handle situations. It's impossible to plan for every single possible thing, but we have a lot of plans that we can lean on to help us, and we have a really solid team, and we're really confident in our ability to address safety concerns across our building. During in-service, our staff spend a significant amount of time mapping out the year with our health standards and SEL, making sure that we're hitting all those content areas and feeling like we had a very robust curriculum to be able to put in front of our students. And so we just touched back on that over our in-service day back in the 5th, and teachers are feeling really positive about where they're going. So moving forward with talking specifically about the child protection unit. Up until this year, our school counselor pretty much just taught that unit to every student in every classroom. And it really did pull from her ability to support students on a day-to-day basis. And ultimately, our teachers are teaching these things all the time anyways. And so with our new curriculum, teachers are able to better, provide that instruction. And so they are also continuing to teach the child protection unit with Second Steps. And the piece that I really wanted to show you is the never rules. And I know this is super small, so I did bring a life-size poster for y'all. And so these are the rules that students in all of our classrooms, K-5, are taught. So never touch guns, never play with fire, never ride on wheels without wearing a helmet, never go in water without an older person watching, never use a sharp tool without an older person's help, never ride in a car without wearing a seatbelt, never touch a dog without asking the person in charge, and never cross the street without checking hallways for traffic. So those are really general, but then of course at each grade level, it gets to be a little bit more age appropriate and much deeper in conversation. So that is how we address much of those safety standards across our school. All right. So up next, we have James Bell, and he's going to speak about our supportive staff.
Hi, my name is James. I'm in the resources class, and I'll be talking to you about our amazing staff. They're trusting and supportive. We go to them when we have problems. They find ways to make learning fun, like Planet games, typing games, teamwork, snowball, Pocket, Prodigy, science units, and the Wax Museum. I was really nervous about the Wax Museum, about public speaking until I did the Wax Museum. Now I have the confidence to talk to the school kid. They build positive relationships with kids. They don't forget their students for years after year in their class. I still visit some of my teachers, including Miss Anna, Miss Maria, and Mr. Castro. And they get to know our personal interests.
James, who were you for the wax museum? Who were you for the wax museum?
Gichin Fumikashi, a karate, someone who invented the style of karate that I do.
Nice. Very good. You did a great job.
Violet, and you can see it here if you like, or you're welcome to go there. And Violet is gonna speak to you guys about our climate and culture. We have she has 3 areas that she's gonna address.
In our school, there are a lot of different students, but all of us are the same. Because in Creswell, we celebrate differences. By our monthly heritage, we have Hispanic Heritage Month, Native American Heritage, and Hawaiian Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month. We also have Black History, Women's History, and Autism Awareness Month. And I'm just going to say that Crescent is a very supportive community. We have free meals for all students, and staff help with snacks, coats, or breaks. We also have enrichment classes that help us explore our interests, and we meet new students and staff from all across the school. And we have after-school activities like guitar, choir, ukulele, and in the spring, we have running, gardening, and chess club. In our school, a lot of kids get positive recognition. They get that recognition for kindness tickets, attendance awards, golden awards, and good news referrals. Those are just some of the ways that students can get positive recognition. And that is the climate and culture of Crescent.
Austin, who's gonna speak to you a little bit about how students are encouraged at Creswell.
Hi, my name is Austin, and I'm here to present an encouragement in our school. First are our assemblies. During assemblies, students showcase their skills by in choir, cheerleading, and examples. During our last assembly, we had a jump roping. Next, class competitions. Classes can earn rewards by doing the right thing, which can lead to class purpose. Next is leadership. Ways that students can be leaders in our school. Safety patrol, this leadership team is self-managers. If you're a member of group safety patrol, you work before and after school and protect kids who are crossing the street. There's a leadership team. If you're on leadership, you are a 5th grader who has been recognized by staff as responsible. Leadership also helps with assemblies or anything staff needs. Last is self-managers. Self-managers are 4th and 5th graders, like junior leadership, who have been recognized by staff as responsible. They earn the privilege to go to any specials early, such as music and PE, and they get to go to lunch before anyone else. Lastly are citizens. In school help citizens in Creswell they help with the food drives and sock drives, and kids follow all rules and expectations. That is all I have to say about encouragement in our school. Thank you for supporting our school. Happy School Board Appreciation Month. We are proud to be some of the Creswell leadership students. Do you have any questions for us?
Well, I do. Violet talked about enrichment classes and probably a lot of different clubs. Do each of you have either a favorite club or a favorite enrichment class that you've done?
In my opinion, I really like playing choir, and one of my favorite enrichments is, as you saw in one of the pictures, the cheer enrichment.
The cheer, sweet. Have you met Bethany in the back yet?
I teach that.
Are you ready? That's why that's your favorite. She's pretty awesome. Yes. All right. James, what about you?
I like a lot, but I like stuffed animals and probably sign language class.
Very cool.
I don't really have a favorite one, but probably either diamond art or Pokemon dogs.
Diamond art, is that the diamond dots that I hear kids talking about? That is super cool. That's very hip. Very cool, thank you. I loved hearing that.
You guys did so good today. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And telling us all about Creswell today. You guys are welcome to hang out and stay, but you can also go home if you're ready to go. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Very cute. Sorry, Tony, you're gonna have to follow that.
Think some quick.
Do you have a favorite enrichment class?
Easy question.
Okay, so we're moving right on and Superintendent Creswell is here to talk about Lane ESD and their service plan for year 2.
Great, thank you so much for the time, appreciate that, you take time in your agenda to do it, again, you had much more fun things to do, so I apologize for what I'm covering. But this is an annual, action that we ask our component school district boards to take, and all ESDs across the state. It's a requirement that the local component school district boards take action on the local service plan. In Lane County and several other counties, as I found out, or several other ESDs, we develop a 2-year plan. And it's just because it's difficult to make big changes annually. So tonight, what I'm asking you to hopefully approve is the second year of a 2-year plan. So I don't have a whole lot of new, interesting things to tell you about what's in that plan. There are things that are in there from prior years, including the Lane Career Academy, which is a regional CTE venture in. I think Malachi mentioned the design team going on, so Lane UC is involved in that with the high school tonight for the pathways, so probably want to sneak out and pop over there and see how they're doing, because that's a partnership we have there. And so that falls in our school improvement area, which is one of our biggest service areas that we provide for districts in the county. We also provide technology services for districts in the county, as well as some administrative services. But the biggest partnership we have with Creswell happens to be in the special education service realm. And not only do we provide services, we do partner on services, and that's the unique thing about what we've done under Creswell. Special Ed Director Aguero has been very involved in terms of the programs that we're running, especially when we're talking about programs that are running right here in this building and in your district. So that's been the strongest partnership that we've had for years. That's continuing. We don't see that changing, especially not in this next year, this 26-27 year. The only things I would point to in the service plan that could change, and these things are kind of outside of our financial control, they're yours or our financial control. And those are items that are in local that are underlined this time. The underlining programs mean that they are funded on state resources that are outside the state school fund or federal finances, and those decisions haven't yet been made. So we're forced to come up with a local service plan and have it approved by March 1. There may be some decisions that are made after March 1 where the money may not be there. I think the biggest program we're talking about that's underlying for the state programs is our regional education network for Western Wren. And that's underlined with the notion that the legislature will make that decision and they meet here in February, and we won't hear about it. So a couple things in there that could change even after approval, just to make that known. That some services we've had districts rely on, we may not be able to continue. We're hoping for the best out of the legislature, so continue, but right now it's still receiving. This plan was approved by the Superintendent's Council back in our December meeting, and it was also approved by the Lane ESD board earlier this month. And it's now in the hands of our school district boards to make a decision by March 1. So I'll ask you to do that and also take any questions. I'm still thinking about the one Lacey asked me about my favorite enrichment activity. The other thing I'd say is that, the partnership we've had with Creswell also has been really strong due to leadership. And that includes your superintendent, who has been participating in the regional, endeavors that we go into. And now I think it just seemed like yesterday that, he was on board, and it's been several years. And so he's one of our longstanding, as he goes out, one of our longstanding soups. And, the cooperation we've had even at the board level, Mike Anderson has been at almost every meeting I remember. When he wasn't there, Tim was there, and so really appreciate that cooperation. So this one, I'll take any questions now, and if you have any after tonight, feel free also to ask after this.
Any questions? No?
Just a thank you for being such a great partner over the years.
It's easy with partners like you, so that's amazing.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. We will take action tonight. Couple more things and
Okay.
thank you so much.
Great, thanks, Liz. And, again, I know the school board appreciation month, and so it's, I do want to say that do appreciate what you do, not just for you, your district and your kids, good things are happening, and that's leadership.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we are moving on to board recognition and I'm gonna pass it off to Bethany.
Just a little preface, this video was a compilation of efforts from all of our student leadership kids. So you got to meet just a small smidgen of that group tonight from the elementary. Obviously our middle school group's not here tonight, and then Malik and I are representing the high school, but, I had a little bit of an issue with some audio with our middle schooler video that I put together in this compilation. So you're not gonna see them as heavily represented, but there was a high level of presentation from all groups. So I just wanna make sure that you understand that everybody participated.
Sure.
And it's a little bit of a cheeky nod with you guys, so, enjoy.
They were us.
Hey, that will work on it. Okay. John Smith. Dr. Seuss. Mike Anderson. Oh. Paula. Office lady.
I'm just gonna say Miss Emily. John.
John. Okay. That before cover. Okay. Yes.
Anna. Tiffany. Anderson.
And but that is Sarah top.
Oh. Jamie. Anderson. Patience.
Emily. I wasn't prepared. That's why Karen. That would be
be the one and only Mary Station. Like, that's the word I heard.
That would be the awesome, fabulous Sarah Cox.
Way to go, Malachi. Oh, I'm gonna go with Chad. The one and only Candace Worsham. Yeah.
Charles John the Third.
And that's the word number.
Oh, that's Lacey Rizzo. That is the wife of the great Carl Wilkerson, Mr. Sheriff Debbie Wilkerson.
That's amazing. Creswell School Board. Thank you, Creswell School Board. So, if you don't like your name currently, there's some options. I felt like that was great. I love it, Chad. I feel like we should start calling you that. I might respond, you never know. Thank you, it was very well done, I appreciate it, and it might be good we didn't hear at the middle schoolers either. They were hit or miss too, they did good. Good. Okay, we're moving to you, Mr. Johnson, the superintendent report.
Okay, first, as the current chief officer of the district, I would like to commend you all for your service to the community and for the sacrifices that you made to take time away from your family, your friends, your life activities, to be here as a volunteer to serve the district. I sincerely thank you for all that you've done for the district, for supporting me to lead the district, and for everything and all the things that you do for kids. Tremendous, powerful. Highlights. We'll start with those. Boys and girls basketball. Malachi kind of took the thunder away from me on that one, but they're doing outstanding. You know, they're doing their thing and they're doing it well. Looking for big things at the end of the season out of these kids. The CTE building, well, it's been a long plan in the making. And finally, after 2 years, we have the engineered design plan for the building stamped officially and submitted for permits. So we're waiting for those. When we get the approval of permits, I send that into the manufacturer. He builds the building, tears it down, and then ships it to us. The installation is already waiting for us. So, and from his time to get it here is about 40 days. And then the time to build it is about the same, about 40 days to erect build it. The H Hall remodel, which is another design plan that's been a long time going here, is finally launched. And we started to actually get into some of the demolition and then now remodeling of the classrooms in there. A facility in there that is the start of the classrooms in the building. So all is going smooth at this point. We're finalizing some of the design plans for the remodel in that building. And then we'll be going out to bid for we're going to be doing there. You can see the activities that I've been involved in. In December was a short month. Well, a short month for kids and staff, but a lot was accomplished during that month as far as making progress towards our goals as a district. So it was very productive for me. And then you can see where we, as far as the bond projects go or facilities projects, you can see in the purple that I have on the back page for the high school that we moved forward with some some new projects that we're adding to it. The stadium bleachers, we met yesterday with the engineers and designers for the stadium bleachers and the remodel of those, and I actually got their plans and estimates tonight before the board meeting. Haven't looked at them yet. There's a lot in there to open up and kind of dive into, but we looked at that, and with the remodel of the bleachers, of course, it's to make the bleachers more accessible and ADA compliant. Really more accommodating for our ADA folks. And then the press box or the announcer's booth, and then also a cover over the top. So all of that is currently in progress with that project. And then the doors that for visiting teams into the weight room, so our visiting basketball teams, volleyball teams, all those folks who would be here by us, will be guests in the current weight room, but we also have a locker room in there, or we're making it into a locker room. But we now have doors that that provide a passage into that room for them from inside the gym. So those were installed last week, finishing them up this week, and then we'll start on the locker rooms inside the place. And along with the locker rooms, we're also developing a new facility for referees. We have had the most complaints from OSAA referees when they visit our schools for our facilities, our fields, and also their accommodations. And so we're addressing that as well inside that building. All of that is going on. All right.
Do you think our locker rooms? Also, I heard you say the away teams locker rooms.
But we,
Alright, so, thank you.
yeah, our locker rooms came in at an estimate of $3 million. So we put that on the, if we can, list. Any questions on my report?
Thank you as always.
Report.
We will keep on moving. Let's see.
We are now to new business. Our first action is approving the resolution for the Lane ESD plan year 2. Can I get a motion for that?
I move to approve the resolution for the Lane ASD local service plan.
Second. Second, all in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. And we'll move on to, I guess, Timmy. Thank you so much, Tim. Have a great day.
Also, Sherry was leaving, so she wished to be here. She's back doing the same thing, be doing her.
Yeah. Thank you. The next item we have is to accept the 2025 audit report. Get a motion to accept the audit report. Move to approve the accept the 2025 audit report. And a second, also, any discussion or any presentation, anything you wanted to discuss?
For
The audit report.
Chanel, was there anything, Chanel, any highlights on the audit report?
I think so. Pretty straightforward. Things past years. No findings. I didn't see any. I just saw the one tax. I then called out. That was all I saw.
Yeah, the resolution.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, we'll vote. All in favor of accepting? Motion passes. Thank you all. Let's see, we will keep moving. Next action is around advisory, to advertise the budget committee vacancies. I think we actually need to make a motion, and then did you wanna, okay, can I get a motion to advertise the budget committee?
Move to approve to advertise budget and committee vacancies.
Yep.
Sorry, this is.
I know. Okay, Marilyn, did you wanna give us an update on that?
We have 4.
Wow.
Well, because,
Higher citizen
Well-
committee.
so the two that were, that their term was up last year, 2025, were appointed for 2 year because we had vacancies. But this is the problem because of all the vacancies that we can't get folks to apply for the budget committee. That's why we have 4, because the other 2 have been years back. So that's why there's 4.
Remind me where we advertise again, how do we do that? I know we used to always do it in the paper, but are we doing,
We put it on the, Bethany will put it on the,
and Facebook and?
and we put it in
We
Chronicle.
haven't really accelerated it a whole lot. On occasion, I'll put it on social media when we have an opening. But we don't really get a lot of traction or engagement with that,
Yeah.
at that platform.
Can we try this year? Maybe it feels like we're not getting, oh, we didn't get anyone last year, right? I've emailed a couple people again this year to see if they'll consider, but, can we try to put it on Facebook and maybe, and put it in the employee, or, and so the employee email, the parent email?
I'm good at it.
Yeah, okay. Anyone else feel different? I mean,
No, I think it's a great idea. I think we should also personally start recruiting.
yeah. I started sending out my emails yesterday. I said, I got a, oh, nothing.
So I'll post it right away.
Yeah.
And close. What do you want, a month?
Last time we closed it, then we had to like.
I think we just
reopen
keep it
because that's what
open.
we
Keep
did
it open
last
until
year.
filled?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's
okay.
we had to do that anyway, cause I remember us closing it, then Marilyn calling me to reopen it. I would think leave it,
Yeah,
because it hasn't been done.
yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay, I think we need to actually vote. All in favor? Motion passes. Okay, thank you, Marilyn, for staying on top of this.
You're welcome.
Next we have an informational item around Division 22 standards, the ODE letter.
Yeah, so in November of 2025, I presented to you the Division 22 Standards Assurances for 24-25, the previous year, and then submitted those to ODE. And the letter of approval was returned to us in January this month. And they determined that our district is in compliance with the Division 22 assurances. So in good standing with ODE, just want to keep you apprised of where we're at and how we're doing with the standards from the state.
Any questions for mine? Oh, great. Moving on to another informational item about inter-district transfer caps.
Yeah, so we have no caps on transfers through the first semester, but we close at the end of the first semester, so the second semester will be closed to transfers. Just letting you know that that's where we're at, or reminding you that's what our policy is.
Any questions? That's great. Okay. Next is another informational item about board member visits.
Yeah, just I sent the information out to you. Our principals are excited to host a visit with you at their buildings. And we have a 3-week window open this year. And that's the first 3 weeks of February. So yeah, please do reach out to them and let them show you their schools. They'd love to do it.
Thank you very much. And you just want us to reach out directly?
Yeah, just they're looking for you to contact them during those 3 weeks and so they can schedule it after you come in and then inform the staff or announce to the staff that you will be there at a time.
You just give, I know they won't, I'm not thinking this will happen, but just in case, just a reminder, if we ask to go at the same time, that maybe don't, only schedule 3 of us at once.
Yeah, they know the rules are.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And thank you in advance to the principals for hosting us. Next we have Christy, you're up, with the information and discussion item about the presentation review of our next superintendent criteria.
Right, well,
No, I'm okay right here. You're okay with me here, I'm great. So first of all, it is no surprise to me that Bethany leads your cheerleading club. It's like, yeah, that just all clicked for me, just right in that moment. So huge shout out to Bethany because she did really work hard those first, right before break to get engagement. So we did finish up with the engagement. I finished up with the engagement. We ended up in the focus groups. I ended up only doing 5 because that's all we needed. I didn't count my focus group with my, although it was great, counted your information. And I ended up with 39. I ended up total people that I met with. And I ended up almost full in every group. A couple of the staff groups only have 5 of the 6 that we could have had. And then on the parents and the community, I wanted to be inclusive. So I couldn't run a lottery when there would be 3 people left out. So I just took everyone who showed up. So we ended up with 8 parents, and then 6 on the admin side and 10 students. And so what you heard from the students, great, I got to see them because I only got to see your assistant principal and the kids were at a table. And so I just got to hear them talk. And as usual, no surprise that kids always win the day on their feedback. So you'll see, hopefully, they will see reflected in the next superintendent criteria, some of their thinking around that, especially around that student section we saw in there. One thing I'll note, and I will spend a little more time compiling your strengths and challenges rather than presenting on them tonight, because I want to focus my attention on the next superintendent criteria so we can get moving and get posting. But I'll put a summary document together of some high level themes. But the things you said in my one-on-one with you, things about the district's in a great fiscal place, strong leadership from the passage of the bond, that came across in every single group, that people are so proud of that. And at 70%, and people like, how did you get the students to know you passed at 70%? Like they were like nailing off the statistics about.
They celebrated with us.
There you go, exactly, that's why they
We
do.
fed them and we celebrated and we cheered together.
Well, it was evident, people are really proud.
Yeah.
And that shows up as a strength, and you'll also see it reflected in the criteria, what people are looking for. Because people see it as a challenge for the new superintendent to continue the work in the way it's been laid out and in the way you've implemented the bond. So that's something just really important to pay attention to, and you already know it. So that's why you saw something clearly about the bond in the criteria. So between the focus groups and the survey, we got to about 150 people. Sorry, it wasn't 2,500. Mike, we'll blame it on the holidays, okay? And when I needed a community group, Mike got after it over winter break and made sure we have people from your community, leaders in your community, including your city manager, showed up to the focus group. So people really showed up and cared about the process and were thankful to be asked about it. So with that, taking all that I heard from you, from Mike, from the 150 people that spoke to us between the focus groups and the survey, I came up with what I am calling your draft next superintendent criteria. And it is a draft because I am not you. And this is your criteria and you're gonna be using it for this election. So I did my best to be you, but I couldn't be you. So I thought what we might do is just take it one section at a time to see if you have concerns, you want to change words. I'm live in the document, it's live on your screen. My goal is that tonight we could get it final so that we can post on Friday. And the goal is, I have your e-blast written. I wanted to put the Creswell Bakery in there, in your e-blast. I mean, who wouldn't come to Creswell for the Creswell Bakery? But anyway, so I have your e-blast written. This will be a part of it, and then we'll move into the application and recruitment period. So with that, let's just start with the first paragraph, because I put some things here that I just thought were important. Is there anything in just that very first paragraph that you say, hey, that doesn't belong there for us, it's not us, I'd change this word? Your community, you can see that really embedded, and somebody that shows up for the community was really important throughout. That was probably the number one thing people said. In fact, said that more than academics, which is, I guess, no surprise. People just want somebody to love and care for their community and their kids. So the first thing was authentic trust building communication. And so these 3 bullets were what people said. And a few of the words I used in here, I can't remember, I think it was a staff person that said something about they wanted somebody to listen with curiosity. And I loved that they said it in that way, so I tried to pull that word in with curiosity. So any concerns about that section? And we can even move sections around if you say, hey, we want something on top.
That was gonna be my question, in terms of, are these prioritized by the number of they're not prioritized in any way, okay.
No. Yeah, in fact, I will say that one was the number one and why I put it on top and led with that, but the others are not prioritized. So you can put them in an order that makes sense to you.
Okay, you said this one was prioritized?
This first one was the number one thing people said, authentic trust
Okay.
building communication. The
Okay.
communication was number one.
Okay. Just because we're on that topic, for something for us to think about as we're going through. When I looked at this, I really appreciated the categories. I liked having the student-centered leadership and the instructional leadership and the vision up higher. Because it feels like that is the core reason why we're here, and I like keeping the students up at the top. So that's my thought for others to consider. If the number one feedback was the communication, maybe that stays first, but the others could move up. So.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'll put that, I actually love that. I love the idea of even, it's very clear across every group too, that you put students at the center. And that leaders in your district and staff in your district put students at the center. So it didn't really come up as the top thing. But when you look across all the feedback, it was really clear too. So it's your document.
Yeah, it seems to be the students and the curriculum and how we're teaching them is one of like the common threads through every board member and what we expect. So I do like that. If others feel moving those up would be good.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. So do you want me to move students first and instructional leadership second, or vice versa?
Students first would be my recommendation.
I agree. Okay. So now your first is student-centered leadership. Is there anything you would change about that? And I will tell you some things the kids said, and they didn't word it exactly this way, is not only they wanted a leader who knew them and was known who they are, and not just a pass through a building, but engaged in. And it's nothing about the outgoing superintendent. It's like, no, we want to know this person and we want them to know us. In fact, they gave some examples of when Mike knew something about them personally, and that really resonated well with them. So that's why I would challenge you not to take the knows and is known by students out. But
That is one of our strengths of being a small school, is we don't have a kid that's anonymous.
I know
Right? That's hard to say in a large school.
it is.
So I do like that.
But one thing, I love that, and I don't wanna take that out, but I am gonna say, is our superintendent actively engaged in the classroom? And I just don't think, is that really our expectation that they're in the classroom? I don't think it is. There's a lot of other things. I mean, I think curriculum, I think leadership, all of those other things, but actively engaged in classrooms, I don't think that that's necessarily the case. I agree. I mean, are you spending a lot of time in the classroom?
Not enough hours.
No, I do visit the class.
I mean, like you're, I mean, like you're, yeah.
people know, I see you, but I don't know that that really says actively engaged. You know what I mean?
No, it's more in the campus.
Right, that's what I
Actively
think too.
engaged with classrooms. But not in
So
classroom.
I mean, school events and activities.
That's, I
I think
would
that
go there.
those are
Actively engaged in school events and activities is known and is known by students. To
Yeah.
me, that feels more of what a superintendent is, they're not spending a lot of time in the class.
Yeah.
It's more the building administrator, yeah.
Yeah.
Is actively engaged with school events and activities and knows and is known by students.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think the third bullet kind of goes to, I think what they were meaning by actively
Yeah.
engaged in the classroom, that they're inclusive and supporting of our learning environments. I think that's.
And by promoting good learning
Yeah,
environments and.
I'm fine with the rest. And then,
Okay, instructional leadership and a coherent K-12 vision. And I can't remember which group said the words North Star, it might have even been your teachers, I can't remember for sure, but that word came out in one of the focus groups.
I like this one, and I appreciate that it includes special education, because it is important, very important in our district.
People cited that as both as a strength and a challenge because it comes with some challenges, so that, but they cited it as a strength, which is, rare in school districts these days to have people say, people bring their kids here for your special education programs. Okay, keep going or other?
I'm really good. Yeah, it's great.
Okay. Authentic trust building, communication is the next one. I gotta get rid of student centered leadership since I just did a copy, not a cut. Collaborative leadership and respect for staff.
In the community engagement section, maintains, the second bullet just reads a little funny.
Oh, there's, wonder if I think I cut something out, maintains,
I'm okay with maintain successful, I just think maybe that comment is.
yeah, I think something, yeah,
And then something wrong with the.
yeah, there is one, I did my cut and paste. You know? What happened there? Hold on.
Oh, yeah, it's
It's
just.
just,
it
I
was-
think it's just deleted, It's.
I think you just delete.
It's just part of the student one,
Yeah.
so that fourth
Oh.
bullet just needs to go away.
Third bullet needs to go away, thank you.
No,
Fourth,
it's
just
fourth, yeah, just
Fourth
like,
bullet,
yeah,
okay. Thank
just saying
you.
it completely.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Collaborative leadership and respect for staff. Staff members did note they really wanted a healthy labor climate too.
Was that their words, labor climate?
Labor climate was not their words, they talked about in multiple groups, worried about the classified was a harder bargain this time. So we could put in there, so no, they did not use labor climate, we could put and supports a healthy relationship with the associations. Might be a better.
Feels kind of cold, like the labor climate.
Yeah,
word.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it was kind of cold, and
Yeah.
it feels like we are, especially for some of our long-term teachers
Yeah,
and
it feels
staff,
like
a little bit more of a work family.
How about that? Supports healthy relationships with associations. Does that feel more right?
Feels like they're another group. I'd like a group that makes us all feel like we're trying to have a work
Yeah.
family experience.
Builds positive trust and relationships across all staff.
Yeah, I think it just is all
Yeah.
staff,
Yeah.
and that's where it ends. And we could put healthy, trusting and healthy
Yeah.
relationship across all staff, if that's fair.
I like that. Thank you.
Yep.
We talk about shared leaderships in the last one.
Bullet right above.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would prefer we maybe just go with it once, I just, we're just too much.
Encourage, trust, just encourage teamwork and mutual accountability.
Yeah.
Fosters continuous improvement through trust. Shared leadership, empowering principals and staff to lead their schools in ways that best serve students.
Yeah.
The other thing, need to look back, there was, when we talk about staff were also interested in superintendent that knows them, just like the students were. And I'm wondering if we have that in there strongly enough now that I look at it, you know.
I do think I'd like to see something about visibility.
Yeah.
To staff, I think that's a.
That's like where we missed it, like when we've been active in the classroom, maybe just visibility
Yeah.
somewhere. I don't know if that's the correct place to put it, but.
Yeah, and maybe it's collaboration and respect for staff, and being visible and accessible, or visible and approachable.
Yeah. Put it here for now, see if it works. Is visible with staff and knows. And is known by them. I use the same word as kids, but is visible with staff. And accessible.
I know accessible is a hard word, because
It is.
it's, you can't be that accessible all the time, visible.
How about we just put knows staff? And is visible in schools. In classrooms.
Yes.
Then. So encourages, so builds positive, trusting and healthy relationships across all staff. Knows staff and is visible in schools and classrooms. Encourages teamwork and mutual accountability, fosters continuous improvement through trust and shared leadership. Empowering principals and staff to lead their schools in ways that best serve students. And interestingly enough, that empowering principals was a theme again heard across multiple groups, even parents said noticed that and liked it. Okay, and then your last one then is excellent fiscal and operational stewardship.
Real quick,
Oh,
a
yeah.
collaborative one, I'm just reading it again, the
Okay.
first bullet, is it healthy relationships across all staff or with all staff? Relationships usually are to cross.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
You're good at controlling wordsmithing.
I love this part, like, and I love thinking about, yes,
Okay.
yes. I did it and I was retiring in Salem Kaiser. I was, the board was working on it and I was behind the scenes being the editor for them. Yeah, and then they talked about wanting a superintendent who could take a vacation and I was actually on vacation doing the work.
Yeah.
So it's one of those vivid memories
Do
that,
they take vacations, Mike?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see, he was trying to take a
Too.
vacation, I called him, could you help me with this? Yep. Okay, excellent fiscal and operational stewardship.
And that's where we put in the bond too. And people noted the fiscal stewardship was really important. It is. I think it's also a big expectation of ours. Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts or things that you think were missed, concerns? Yeah, it's a tough job. Yeah. And I really love the student-centered leadership, because it's notable in Creswell, but that's your center. Okay. Okay, we're good? Yeah. So we will move then to the next item, which is to approve the next superintendent criteria as we have amended.
I move to approve the next superintendent criteria as amended.
Second. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. If I see any small edits before we post it, I'll take those liberties. Grammar would be appreciated. Grammar would be appreciated. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, the next item we have is back to you, Christy, to discuss salary range for the next superintendent. Yeah, so let's, when we post the position, we will put a salary range on there, and you got a salary study, from me. That human capital conducted. You are, fifth out of the 10 districts, so you're right, kind of in the center. And what I'll be asking, and remember, this is going to be the 25, 26 salary numbers, so you have to think in terms of next year, all those salaries are gonna be bumped a bit. So we'd like a range, because you could get somebody that's a new superintendent or somebody that's more experienced, and you're gonna want the latitude to negotiate the contract with them. What will happen at contract negotiation time is that the board will designate two people. Often it's board leadership, it doesn't have to be the negotiators of the contract with your chosen finalists. And then at that point, I think it'd be great for us to come back to this document to look at some of the other provisions. But for tonight, all I need is a range. And your current salary is at 170. And the top end is 181 from your comparison groups. These are like-sized districts. And the low comparator is at 155. So, and I don't need a vote, I just need some general consensus around where would you feel comfortable with us posting the salary range? In your, sorry, are you gonna make me ask some questions? Please do. In your experience, how big do you generally see superintendent salary ranges posted? I think in the 15 to 20 range. Okay. I'd probably start I'd start a little lower than where you are and go higher. One thing that will be hard for you, and I've seen this multiple times, is that sometimes you end up hiring somebody that comes in higher than where your superintendent currently is. And I've experienced that. And you just have to know that sometimes the way it happens. When you get settled in a district, and Mike is like me, is not somebody who just keeps pushing for a higher salary. So just know that that may happen. So I would also recommend that you go higher than where you're currently at with your superintendent, even though he's a longstanding superintendent. And, you know, for us, we, especially not knowing our applicant pool, we could, we hired Mike with no superintendent experience. I think that's something that could potentially happen. We could hire someone with a lot. Do you have any ideas of like where that measures up against principals on high end? Because if we did bring someone in from that area, I just want to kind of know. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense to any of you.
Yeah, you want the compaction issue to be addressed.
Yeah. I don't know that answers them. Yeah. Do you know offhand what your high end of your principal salary is?
No.
25.
145?
25.
125. Okay. Okay, so we have a lot of. You have room.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I mean, there's a piece of me, I'm just throwing ideas out there, right, to start the conversation, of like, do we start, I feel like we started about 150 last time, is that what it feels like that's where we posted. It almost feels like our range should start at the lowest and give ourselves, I mean, I'm okay with a wider range if that gives us options, and you know, we may pick someone who doesn't have a lot of experience, we may pick someone with a lot of experience, and I wouldn't want to put ourselves in a position where we don't have that ability to have that conversation. Or someone comes in with expectations, thinking this starts at a range and they don't have that set of experience for that range.
What would you consider like reasonable for the top range, if you're saying a wide range?
I mean, this is what I
Yeah,
would think,
sure.
is like 155 to like 185.
And what kind of latitude is in our budget to do our top end, like what, as long as we're being good
Yeah,
stewards of our budget, like.
well, we're at 170, so $15,000 more a year isn't $100,000.
So what is the highest comparison
Is
that we have
It's
right
one
now?
eighty-one.
Is 181, but what, that district, do you know what district that
I
is?
don't know which
But
district
it's
that
one
is.
of these listed.
Yeah,
on
it's one of
this.
these
Yeah.
listed here, so I
And
was
if you
just.
look at their total compensation package,
Mhm.
they're also getting a $31,000 TSA and a $20,000 travel, so their
They're
full
making-
package is 233 too,
Mhm.
so. I wanna find out what district that is.
Yeah.
I like.
I know.
No, I-
You're retiring.
Well, they are.
So even if you went to the 180 to 185 range, there's still other compensation things
Mhm.
to consider.
Right,
What, can you tell me what is included in the TSA, like? Yeah, so, districts will choose to put towards a tax sheltered annuity on behalf of their superintendent, or sometimes other employee groups as well. So in the case of the highest comparator, they're putting $31,000 into a, 457 or 403 plan on behalf. And the employer actually can put it in there. And at the same time, the employee can add to their plan. There's maximum limits. But, and it doesn't, the thing about taking your money in a TSA is it doesn't, you're not subject to PERS.
Reduce your tax bill.
And you're reducing your tax. So when I was negotiating that salary going into Salem Kaiser, I chose for a lower salary range and a higher TSA. Because it, now that wasn't great on the PERS side, but it did save the district money. And you may have somebody that would want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not currently operating.
It doesn't look
Okay.
bad.
You're not currently.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
That was it.
They caught your eye?
No, I had discussions about that.
Yeah.
Early on about a TSA and, because it does lower the salary. And on my end, it lowers the PERS payout. So it was a win-win, I thought, but, that didn't. We didn't do that.
So it would be reasonable for them to request that in negotiation, and that's kind of, so we're sitting here saying we don't have it allocated, but it's reasonable for someone to potentially ask for it.
Correct, yes, correct.
In our range, though, we're putting a base salary
We'll
range
put a
out there.
base salary
All
range.
of these other
Mhm.
pieces would be part of our contract negotiation.
Correct.
Lacey, what do you think?
I was just trying to think through a wide range. I don't normally see those, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
I think I might lower it just a little, like not make it, what did you say, 150?
You have to make it something like, you can make it start higher or lower. I just,
You said 155 to 185?
I tend to like to signal that we want to be able to reward our staff, so I like. Is there other language in there to indicate that there are other compensation components to be
Yeah, we'll put-
negotiated? What's that
We'll put
language?
we'll say plus benefit package, but anybody coming into a superintendency is gonna know
No, those
this.
things.
In fact, there's people in the state that will help negotiate the contract, yeah, for them on their side, yeah. So, and they'll say, you should ask for this, you should ask for this. And the, if you note that you have a 24-month salary and benefits for a no-cause termination. So you decide that tomorrow that Mike's done, but he still had 2 more years on his contract, you would be paying that out. Which good job on that, Mike. That was, but that's the full 24 months is not a normal amount. Right now, it's more normal, it's 12 months.
I don't think we're ready to put that
No.
on there, we've, that's
I was
already
like,
done.
No, but it's currently there, so it's just not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And, technically you also have to have compensation discussions like this in public. You can't negotiate salary in executive session. So that's why we're discussing some of this in open session and why you'll have two members do the negotiations for you.
So where are you guys feeling more comfortable? I think we're at the time we just put out the numbers that we feel comfortable.
Well, for me, the underlying values would be, I wanna make sure. Like, I always would like our staff to be at least in the middle range, if not higher, right, to be able to signal. I know we're not super rich and we can't be the number one person in everything.
Yeah.
So I wanna be able to signal that we wanna be able to pay well, and if we can afford that. And I can't remember, if our recent contract negotiations for our staff indicate they are mid-range to upper mid-range, I like that equitability too, of like kind of placing. I don't want our superintendent to be the, like, number one and our staff are the bottom of the pile, right? Like that feels like an odd value misalignment, so I'd wanna be consistent there. Posting the wide range with the language about the compensation package allows us to put some of our money in something that is beneficial to them.
I'm assuming you also post that, salary will be
It's
negotiated based on experience, right? I mean.
I don't think I can't remember the exact wording, but we say it's negotiated. Yeah. And people applying should know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes me more comfortable with the wider range.
Yeah.
So just for the fact that you brought up our other associations, they're on the higher end than county.
Okay. And your comparison districts are Lane County for your.
So I would be fine like moving it up to 160 or 165 to 185 as a base. If that signals that we're equitable, you're thinking if we get a brand new principal promoting
If
in.
we have someone coming, I mean, I just want us to be open to pick the right person.
Yeah.
And I don't wanna set that expectation that it might be 160 with no experience, when that's more the middle of the range, which I would assume those superintendents have some experience. That, I think that's
Yeah.
where we're.
And if you have the right person and you chose. And they really were inexperienced, you may also want to reserve some funds for a mentor contract with somebody.
Yeah, I think giving us the flexibility to look at the widest range of candidates is probably the smartest. So I mean, because even if we say we're starting, so like if we say 150 to 185, it doesn't mean that in that negotiation, we have to go as low as 150. We could say, okay, 160, if we're comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So.
And I would go higher than 150 just because your lowest comparator is 150.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
so.
I think 155 is where, but this is totally open, I'm just trying to give us
Yeah,
a lot of leeway.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, and I like a lot of little.
Yeah.
Anyone
I for one.
not okay with it?
But our lowest comparator has to be who?
It's 155.
I know, but we're in the middle, right, of the lowest?
We're the black.
We are, and this
Yeah.
tells us our
Yeah,
right.
so we're in the middle of that, so I would think that we should be higher than level of 155.
But we don't, what if someone's a principal, we end up hiring another person right out of the district? And right now they're making 125.
Oh, that's true.
The job they're taking on though.
It's
huge.
It is.
But
That's what I like.
officer, yes, the job they're gonna take, they're number one.
Yeah, and if they were a principal and good enough to step in.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
also, you
Yeah.
still don't wanna be the bottom of the pack.
Right, no.
Yeah,
I just feel like we're in the middle of the middle range and what they have to manage is in the middle, so like. I'm comfortable with 160, but
Yeah,
you guys
I'm
are.
fine with 160.
it's fine, and I do have some late breaking news from Lane ESD, they have a $40,000 range in their zone, so.
Oh, yeah, they went 210 to 250 in a public meeting, so I can say that out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
So-
160 is what I'm hearing, 160 to 185.
Yeah.
160 to 185.
25,000 over.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine. Okay. Okay,
so another, not, I don't wanna change the rate, another question when I was looking at the comparator groups. Am I correct that none of these are within our region? So do we, like Sayusla, that's sisters though.
No, like
Florence.
Florence.
That's my county.
Florence.
Yeah.
I'm literally thinking Florence on the coast. What did I say? Sisters.
Sisters, not,
Okay.
yeah, sisters is there.
Still like over, so is, maybe we don't, do we compete with Pleasant Hill, some of the smaller areas that are here that people would not have to move from to be able to choose jobs? Like, that's what stood out, was like, wow, every single person would have to move.
Mhm.
Is it important to know what our surrounding
I mean, this is a pretty big range, they're probably gonna fall.
word you said? Okay, okay, if people, like,
Yeah.
that's good, okay.
Cause if you were comparing yourselves, which districts would you look to? Pleasantville.
Maybe Elmira.
Elmira. Maybe I'll see if I could just for information.
Yeah.
As we move along, get those two. Bethel is.
If there
you know, way too
anything
big.
like outside of what we're doing, that would be
Then I'll bring
something
it
to
back.
know, but if we're good and covered, then
Okay.
They're higher,
they're higher. So that's what I was wondering, this is a more
but
expensive.
they're in your range, the range that you called out.
They're in the range, but they're higher. Okay. How long have they been?
Pico 3 years and Fern Ridge is one of our longest. Interim superintendents. He's probably done.
The region's affordability is where I was going,
Yeah, that's
right?
Yeah.
Sisters is different, Florence is different, clear up to like. Some of these others farther up, yeah. Creswell, like, is talking about.
So Yamhill is an expensive area to live, Sisters is an expensive area to
Okay.
live, yeah, definitely. Florence, while it feels different, it's an expensive area to buy a house. Yeah.
Okay.
Oak Hill feels a little bit smaller.
Oak Hill's probably not so much.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought there was a good place here, but there are probably some more direct comparisons, just geographic.
Okay, yeah.
And
So this conversation just makes me feel better about making sure that we're not missing something there.
I will look at Elmira and Pleasant.
That'd be great, okay, thanks.
Okay, we landed those, 160 to 185.
Great.
Good to go. Okay. The next thing I wanna talk about, I'm just moving us right through stuff, so we're ready to go, is, and I do wanna look at the timeline with you into that list, but, if you look at your confidential community panel, this will be the next, this comes, after the slate meeting, and we've decided on kind of your finalists. The community panel will sign a confidentiality affidavit, but they will interview your finalists. So in our contract, we've given you, or we've proposed one, community interview panel with 12 people. That feels right for Creswell, but, we can change our mind and add another panel later if we get a, groundswell of people interested. But, so I took the liberty of putting together what I thought might be your, community panel. So, and you can change this in whatever way, but I'm recommending 2 students that we choose by lottery. You could say 2 students that are lottery from the leadership group at the high school, you could say that too, but I just said 2 students by lottery. An invite to each of your association presidents, so that's a direct invite. A classified staff member by lottery, a licensed staff member by lottery, school leadership by lottery, central office leadership by lottery, 2 parents by lottery, a community member by lottery, and then a community leader invite. And I might recommend on your community leader invite is your city manager. As your first invite, who's very invested in this succession and success of the next person. So I'm open to that up for discussion.
Can you remind me if we chose to have a second panel? In the contract, there's a cost, right?
Yeah, I think it's at, I think it's at 21, but I, would visit with Hank to try to get him to bring that down a bit, and I have another, consultant that would do it right now. So,
I mean, what do we think about if we have a large enough interest that we kind of preemptively decide if we have a large enough interest, we're just going to have to? Because I'm only saying that because if we do, and we wait for a meeting to come have a conversation, we might be holding things up, and if we make that decision now, at least you could call, and we could say, yes, we already agreed to that. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
so 2 groups of 12.
Yeah, if there's enough interest, only if there's an interest that warrants.
I feel like that's fair. I want complete transparency
Yeah.
and everybody that wants to be involved, and I think that if we have that much interest, which I don't know that we will,
I don't know if we
but
will either.
I wasn't part of the last process, but I think that would be completely fair to go on. If we have-
How would we determine that we have enough interest? Would it be like?
Well, I mean, if
say-
there's only 24 people, then I say no. Everybody gets interested.
Would it be essentially just a duplicate of this outline, the 2 students, and like, so if we had, is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, I would, we'd have to look at it, but I would, I definitely, we won't have association presidents
Right.
in those, so I would probably put 2 classified, 2 licensed. And
I
then,
think-
maybe another student or 2, more parents, you have.
That's my
Yeah.
opinion, like, not that I don't want them to have a say, but only 2 parents and 1 community member could feel low. But if where the associate, the presidents are, to me, I'd like to see that as parents or community member slots, if there's interest.
I'm the same way, I think we need more parents in there, more parents involved.
Yeah, because there's a lot of staff, because of the association, both are staff, and then there's classified and licensed, and those are staff as well, basically. That's 4 staff, and that's over a third of the group is staff. And so, I agree.
Can you remind me of, this is a panel, is there a district leadership panel?
There's not right now.
So there is the board is interviewing and then this group.
Yep. Now, the other option you could do is you could make this more, you could have a totally different panel. And it could even be your leadership team or something could do an in-person interview right before the final interview or the same day. It would still be kept pretty confidential anyway. So you could take leadership out of this group.
But there isn't any.
So-
Oh, yeah, there's just,
Yeah.
oh, yes, there's these.
School base.
My concern is being a small district. I see Mike relying on the principals so heavily to implement. I feel like every principal needs to be included. And we have like Amy Aguero isn't technically a principal, but runs a large program for us and does like the Jill of all trades role. And so there's where I'm going is there's key leadership positions that I feel should have a say and are probably more qualified to judge the student center piece, the K through 12 vision piece than we would be.
Yeah.
I would love to, I would propose adding another panel where we could move maybe the association presidents and then the lottery staff and the specific invite to that leadership team, and then fill more community and parents here.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think I would really want those principals to help us guide that.
When you did the focus groups,
And I say smiling principal.
Like, that's a big miss if we don't have that.
Right, but so you already did the focus groups that included the teachers or like this district staff, correct? Yes, yes. So they've had an opportunity to say what they're looking for, like
They set the guidelines.
they've been heard.
Mhm.
Okay,
That's different than judging the
I
personality.
understand
and
that. I just wanna
experience.
make sure that we aren't missing what they want.
Yes.
Yeah.
What they
Yes,
need.
Thank you. Yeah, that's to me money well spent.
yeah, I think I think we should be open to 2.
I want the community to be able to have a say, I'm totally on board with having a staff leadership, no problem. It's hard to judge if we should plan for two, because what if we just don't have that?
I'm good with that
Interest.
too.
And then we do two smaller ones? Well, I think, or maybe, if you really are set, you want your leaders to be a panel.
I think it's important.
Yeah, so you're saying, that's what I think I'm hearing you say, is your leaders need to be their own panel, so that's panel number one. And panel number two, we take off the leadership people, that's why it gives you two more spaces there, and you put in parents.
Yeah.
Two more parents, and we could put parents / community, because, and then if we get 100 people, I'll come back to you and say we gotta do something else, but,
Well, we're not gonna fill, I mean, how many, let's talk about how many we have on the first one. We'll have, how many principals, we have 3 principals, Amy. Who else do we have?
There's a level
Marshall.
of leaders,
there's 11.
or minus me 10.
So there's
you have
10.
the association.
You could add your,
Could we add somebody else?
you could add your city manager,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
would
would
make
be
sense.
one.
Yeah,
and is there another community member you might invite for that panel?
potentially.
So we could do that, and then we'd open up 2 more slots on this panel.
Yeah,
That would make more sense.
that makes sense. Yeah. I think before we, I think the idea is where we wanna go. I think we should probably see what that list is that you were talking about from the leadership and then make sure we're all on the same page. But I think that's the idea of where we wanna go. Does that sound fair?
And I'm totally comfortable with leadership deciding in a phone call if you need to add a second panel, cause what you're hearing is a big
Yeah.
interest. I'm good with them making that decision.
Okay. Okay,
I'm
great.
really happy with that, I trust you guys.
But the decision today, though, is 2 panels, because one is gonna be leadership.
Yeah.
So if it got
Yes.
so big, you would open it up to,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
that'd be awesome, actually, wouldn't it be awesome?
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
That would be the best case scenario.
Okay.
Waiting for awesomeness.
I know. So, you've given me direction to reshuffle this panel a little bit, add a leadership panel. And then we will begin in a week or 2 to actually solicit to see how many we have for people, and then we'll go from there. And I'll work with board leadership to finalize, but then we'll send it out to you. Perfect.
Are you guys okay, not if, as she gets lottery and whatnot, that we just swap the people and have that conversation, or do you want us to bring it back? With this, okay. Okay, then that's what to do.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I have one more thing I want to talk about,
Please.
sorry.
No, please.
Is the schedule. The schedule, 2 things, Sarah Cox. It was amazing, by the way.
Sarah Cox.
Yeah, it was amazing, by the way, that's what the kids said. Is wondering about, the presentation of the slate is February 25th on Wednesday, right? And she's going to be on an airplane. Can you do, I can do the night before Tuesday.
I
I
can't.
will have to do it.
Can we do it then? Can I go into that?
You have to zoom anyways, though,
Yeah,
right, no
I
matter
know.
what.
No matter what, I'm out of town.
All right, tell me the date again.
24th.
Yeah, I can do that.
I can do the final, I'll just be.
I can do
On my phone, just be on it.
And if, I can do the slate meeting and we can just do it via Zoom, I just want, it's better if we say, yeah, most people are on Zoom, let's all be on Zoom, or. So it's up to you.
Unless you guys feel differently, I think we should do Zoom,
Yes.
only because it's really hard when only one person is on Zoom.
Yeah.
It's hard to hear in this room, and you're just.
Very happy.
Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what are the times for the 24th?
The 24th will be, I think you guys said you needed to be a 6 o'clock start time.
We're like,
Okay,
And it's. Really won't matter, especially via Zoom, so you tell me what the best, so 6 is great.
Tim, how do you feel? I know you have a drive.
Not on a Tuesday, I don't.
Oh, okay, so we hit the right day.
I work from home on Tuesday.
Perfect. So 6 work for everyone, or do we wanna go earlier?
We can go earlier for me.
Me too, we can start
like 5 or 5:30.
Anyone know?
Perfect, 'cause I know
Five.
we're there.
Sarah, how do you feel about that?
That's great.
5, okay, so let's do that.
Sweet.
Don't tell us how warm it is. Yeah, okay, so February 24th, 5 to 5:30, or 5 o'clock, is that what you said?
Yeah, I would
So
say
it won't be.
it won't be 30 minutes.
30-minute meeting. Oh, okay, and we're gonna do that virtually.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, and it is better whenever you do, everyone's virtual, if somebody has to be. Okay, and then, the finalist interviews, we were working around Sarah's work schedule, and so we pumped them later in the week. Cause, the kids that are amazing. So it's totally up to you if you wanna bump it to earlier, cause I think the 13th was going to be a Friday night
Correct. The 13th,
of March. So,
the 12th and 13th.
yeah, 11, 12, 13. So if you wanna do 10, 11, 12,
Sorry, what are we, you just can't do the 13th, is that what it
no,
is?
she can,
Originally that she wanted to do 8, 9, and 10, but I was gonna be in Washington for a convention,
okay.
and so I wasn't available, and so she thought it was important that we all be here, so we moved it to 10, 11, or 11, 12, 13. But I'm not going to that convention now, so if 9, 10, 11 works better to avoid a Friday,
Oh,
is what the.
Or,
gotcha,
yeah,
okay.
10, 11, 12, whatever, it's totally up to you.
Debbie, did you say you're still not here, like you're not back, or when do you come back?
Not for one.
Oh, so it just is what
I've
it
gone
is.
for a month,
Gotcha.
so it is what it is.
Oh, it is what it is. I'm
And last
fine
I
with-
decided to fly home.
Sure. I won't pressure you on that, but you
I
should.
don't know, I feel pressure.
I don't particularly, I mean, I really like all of you, but I don't particularly wanna hang out on a Friday night, together, so. I'm fine with moving to 10, 11, 12 if you guys are, but we're talking March, right?
Yeah, March 10, 11, so it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I
And
don't
the
have-
11th is our regular board meeting.
I was gonna ask, I asked about that, how do you work around the regular work? Just logistics, I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that would be,
Cause it's a standing meeting, that's
Well,
the,
we can change our.
you can, you just have to make sure you advertise it.
Yeah.
Or do we do 9, 10, 12?
We can do that, I can do any of those.
I got 9.
Okay, so no Monday, yeah. What's the reality you think that we're gonna need all 3 days?
What I think you should plan for the third day, even if it's just for deliberations.
Gotcha.
And deliberations could be a virtual only meeting. I've just seen boards that wanted to just sleep on it before they got to that final decision. I think we could get the interviews done in 2.
So this is my proposal. I think we go 10, 11, 12, and we move our board meeting either to the 4th or, well, we move it to the 18th, because then we would know, and we can have an executive session, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's better.
Yeah, and if you could have contracts negotiated by then, you can make an announcement.
Yeah, I think that's what we should do, unless you guys feel different.
No, I agree, I was just looking at, we should move our board meeting.
Yeah, okay. So did you get that? We're gonna move our March board meeting to the 18th.
And the interview schedules will be 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, yes.
Okay,
Anyone, does that not work for anyone other than Debbie? But we will miss you.
yeah, and
I'll
you're
miss you
getting
too.
way more fun than
I'm
we
gonna,
And
send
we'll
this
just,
picture.
are you gonna try to participate virtually?
If I can, I would like to. I mean, like, if it's available to me, I will be available to do it. I'm not
Okay.
gonna be, I will make myself available.
Okay, so we'll talk about what sort of setup we might
Yeah.
have that could make it accessible.
That would
to
be
you.
wonderful. I would like that very much.
So to make sure I'm not missing anything, there's nothing between now and February 24, and then March 10, 11, 12, 18. Okay. Alright, then I got it all.
10, 11, that was great. Okay, correct,
Yeah.
we're starting at 6 on 10, 11, 12.
Yes, I think that's what you told me, you needed to start at 6, because it will be in person.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Okay, I love all my plan, nice work.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
For nothing if not efficient.
Awesome,
Yeah, awesome, I love it.
awesome and efficient.
Okay, thank you so much, Christy. Appreciate your leadership on that. Let's continue to move. We only have one item left on our agenda, and that's trustee reports. Mike, are you okay if I start down there with trustee reports?
Yeah, let's see, I went to the, cheerleading competition last Saturday, which I'm amazed at the difference in 20 or 30 years to, and the way those kids, they were really quite an athletic group. The gymnastics and stuff they did was on there. Some of them were unbelievable. I went to a Lane EFC meeting. And I got a hold in, you talked last time about checking in to see about how we could get flight instruction into the school either late this year or next year. And so I got a meeting set up with Chad and I with the director of flight Lane Community for the 26th.
Thanks.
And it's a kind of high, here's what we've got, what do you guys have, what can we do to work together? You know, what's it gonna take to get that? I keep thinking about a young lady that got on a flight, one of our flights out of the local airport. Alaska Airlines came to her, they're gonna pay all her college if she signs off to fly for them for 3 years in Alaska, and she can do whatever she wants, but they'll pay the whole thing.
Wow.
So we got that set up, and then I couldn't stand it. I talked to several kids about, do you have friends that are not in school here? What would it take to get them back?
Yeah.
And if I understand this right, it's about 11 grand a kid if we can get them to come back to school. And I think as a school our size, I think we've probably got a little bit of flexibility to get the kids back. And there's several different things. A lot of it evolves around being able to go to jobs in the afternoon, go to school in the morning, seniors, and then work in the afternoon and either help them get jobs, which we can do, or they've got jobs already. But just with the kids I talked to and some parents, I think we could get 20, 25 kids back next fall pretty easily. And any more than that, I don't know. But I guess I need a little more direction. I don't know where to go from here, but if we all got together and we wanted to do it, I don't think it would take much of the management from the school. I'd recommend going to the leadership class at the high school, the kids. And just say, hey, what do you think about this? Let's get going and ask around and see what what would take to get these kids to come back. I think the kids would be the biggest cog in the wheel on this thing. And I think they can do the job to show, at least find out what we have to change to get the kids to come back. And in talking to a few of them, I think we'd have to consider going back to a 6 to 8 class day instead of 4 classes. And I know there's a lot of, issues both ways with that, good and bad. But those kids want to go to work. And some of them have to, I guess, and some of them want jobs, so we have to consider that. But it's up to you guys, what we want to do. But I think we can get 25 kids. I don't know what's that, is short of 300 grand that we would have to start the next year. I don't know how they pay it out. If the kids came back this year, I don't know how they would pay that out or help us, how we get money from the state. But I'm just thinking next fall. But I think we could be at 20, 25 kids back, maybe even 30 if we push. I mean, if the kids really got serious and talk to their buddies. But it's up to you guys, what can we do? What do we want to do?
What are you asking as to whether we would ask our leadership kids to go talk to kids that don't come to school here?
Yeah, there's a place to start. I mean, it's gonna be their friends, and I talked to a few kids that
I don't think it is. The kiddos that are not coming here, I don't know if they're that connected. Are they?
I think there's quite a few of them that are. I think it'd surprise you.
It must surprise me.
I haven't talked to anybody yet that isn't. So, but I haven't talked to a whole bunch of them either. All I'm saying is it's worth the effort to maybe ask a question or go to one of those senior class meetings, talk to the kids and ask them what they think.
Are the kids that you're thinking about approaching to come back, are they in the online school?
A little bit of everything, online, charter school, private school.
But not necessarily through Great Ways. Yeah.
But just an idea I had, listen to the radio and Springfield's cutting back on schools, Eugene's already done it. And I don't understand why they don't try to, what can we do to get the kids back? And I'm not saying make it real easy for them, but they're, I think a lot of the kids I learned that went through the strategic plan they're building, those kids had some really good ideas. And I think it's the same kind of thing, get them talking to their buddies, say, we want you to come back to school, what would it take? What would the hours, and maybe it won't work, maybe we can't change the hours, I don't know. But I think it's worth looking at, but it's up, if we want to approach it, we can, if we don't want to, and just drop it, but 25 kids and whatever we get per kid, I think that's gonna be quite a bit of money that we have for next year that we don't have now.
I really appreciate the effort. I have significant concerns about asking kids to like recruit and talk with other kids. From confidentiality to asking them to be put in a position that they may not be comfortable with. Do they know? Like they would have to know. I don't think we can tell them, here's the 10 kids that are in the online school, go convince, right? Like it would be up to their own networking, and that feels really odd to me.
Well, I wouldn't put any pressure on them, just say, here, we need some help, and see what they say.
I love asking for input on what the
But
problem
I
is.
think that's where the key is gonna be, is with those, we have some kids that talk to their buddies or friends or girlfriends, whatever, that aren't in school. But like I say, it's up to you guys, up to the group, what we wanna do.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I've been doing.
I would like the, I think the idea is super cool, and I appreciate it. I just don't know enough about how to make it happen.
And there's probably a lot of circumstances that go beyond what our kids should know about.
So one thing that we have done is we started the online school program. And Amy has reached out to all the families who have transferred to charter programs. And some of the kids did talk about that, they wanted more flexibility in their day so that they could work in the afternoon. And we provided that through the online program. And so that's an angle that we're trying to get at, that to do that, and then that would be a re-entry step as far as coming back to in-school in person. So we've been working at that for about 2 months now. I think we brought the online proposal to you about 2 months ago. And so we're working down those lines. And we can provide that for them.
How many students have we enrolled since over the last couple months?
Enrolled in schools?
In the online program?
12 to date. But they're not all from, some of them are from outside that weren't attending here, about half of them. The other half are students that have other circumstances where they needed to have that as an option. So, some kind of a crisis that they're in, and that's how they're, or are high need, and that's how they've entered into there. But we've opened it up to those kids that are out of district.
I think the thing too, Mike, is like, I don't know that we're gonna be able to get kids or juniors or seniors to come back, but I think moving forward, it's creating a culture and environment where they wanna stay, they like between 8th and 9th, and then 9th and 10th, where they're just like, okay, no, this fits really well and it fits with my schedule moving forward. And I think that that's what they're doing by implementing these online pieces. Like by the time, they're Malachi's age, they're not coming back. Like it's halfway through the school year, they're gone, and we're probably not gonna be able to retain them back. But I do think the changes that the admin have been making, I do think are creating a culture where the kids moving forward will keep our numbers and potentially have students be coming in from outside districts, because we are creating such a positive culture and opportunities for our students in so many different ways with the new CTE building, the fields, the events, and again, big time, I think, K through 12, the culture, and we heard that from those students that were here earlier. So I don't know how, I don't know how, I don't know that there's like an immediate, like we can grab them back. This is just my opinion, but I do think moving forward that the trajectory and where we're headed is the right space to keep the ones that are here and potentially have an influx of people making this like a desirable district, I think. But it would be great if we could pluck them back. I just don't think that.
Well, I think you're totally right. The CTE with everything that's gonna be there, I think it's gonna really help. I think the flight, I think we're gonna get some
Yeah.
kids that wanna be here from southern Lincoln
Yeah.
County.
So I think it's
But-
like a moving forward thing,
but
it's a hard place to be right now to hear that there are that number of kids that have chosen other ways, and I understand, and the fact that that's coming from a place of caring, I think brings a lot of value, that you're like, man, I wish we have so much to offer them, and I wish they were here and engaging it. But I do think it's just us moving forward in this forward thinking concept that our board is constantly discussing is where we're gonna see success in that. Kind of moving forward. Let's hope, I mean, that's the end goal, right?
Yeah, I do like the point that Mike made, that some of these kids need to work, and I think it shouldn't be exclusive to the kids that you have to go to online school to work. So like,
Yes,
you should still be able to be part of this environment, so making that work for them
Yes.
is something that would be of interest to me, because I mean, when I went to school, we could work in the afternoon, and that was something that some people need to do, but you still need that engagement with your peers, which I think is important too.
Yeah, I think those are conversations as we move forward to think about how we are serving them, and as we are making massive changes, especially at the high school level. I feel like that's really what we're talking about here, because we're talking about working and those things. I think moving forward, looking at having the CTE building and the opportunities that will come with that, it seems like it almost feels like to be inclusive in the CTE program, you're gonna have to provide work opportunities, right? Isn't the whole point of career technical education and training is to get them those hands-on pieces? So I think naturally we're gonna migrate to having those opportunities through a lot of the changes that we're making over there. And so, but I agree with that, Debbie, totally, that it is important for them to have those opportunities.
So if you do have names of kids or families that are indicating you they need a flexible schedule, this is a starting place that they can get into is with the online school, and then we can work with them to see what it is. We can go from there, give that person, because our vision is to have an opportunity for kids to, if that's the case, do online with us and go to work. Or have a hybrid schedule where they're doing some courses online that they need for a university or something to get on track or recover. And then the CTE program or something of that nature. But the online school program gives us a lot of flexibility to work with kids and parents. And I just think it's working its way out now that we have this program, but we can work the way in too, if you're coming in contact with those families.
So would we just have them reach out to AD,
Yeah.
here, not the direct line? Okay.
I'm just curious, Mike, how many kids are we short at the high school? I mean, what's the difference from the last couple of years? Total kids.
Well, that's something that we're trying to resolve right now, because our numbers of what we're reporting or what we're seeing reporting from us is not consistent with the numbers that are being reported back from ODE. And so we're working on trying to get a significant list, something that we can rely on, significant data on the kids. The numbers that we actually have here, kids that are on transfers from here to other places, and then kids that are on transfers from other places to here. And as we go into the budget season and where we're looking at with a deficit, every kid matters. Not only do they matter because we care, but we're trying to nail down our financial situation to the dollar. And if we bring kids in this year, we don't get state revenue for them this year. We don't see revenue for them until the following year. So we take them in, but we know that we're serving them without any funding following them this year.
So the state doesn't do anything then?
No, not until the following year, because that's when they get the count of ADM to give the first student funding to us out of the state budget.
Okay.
Amy, did you have something to add to that?
Oh, I just was gonna say your question in regards to referring families. They can reach out to me, but we have a form, a link on our website to guide families through that. And so we're checking that regularly. And then the process is we do meet with them, with the building admin and the counselors at the respective building to go through that for the personal schedule. So if it's part-time, full-time, et cetera, we have need that. Try to use a team approach.
So we can dive into the link, would that be a
You
better
can
way?
either way, I just wanted to offer that, because that might be easier
Yeah.
than my email, but that takes, goes to the same person.
Chanel, you were talking, or we were talking, the three of us were talking about numbers at the high school today. And we came up at, throw those numbers back out here.
We're like 335 at the high school. Currently.
And we've seen a number, I've seen a number in here at 360. In the past, have you seen higher than 360? Have you seen 380? 380's in my head, but I don't know if we ever really saw that.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen like 365.
365,
High school.
and that was butts and seats, so that was actual kids here. And so we're down, and we've been trending it that way. But this class is moving up are smaller than the grade levels moving up are smaller than they used to be too. And so we'll take that all into consideration when we're forecasting our student count out for next year. And try to, level out with our staffing and all resources, with the revenue that we have coming in.
Mike and Debbie both brought up an interesting point around working. And I feel like I used to know what our program was around allowing kids to work and how that worked. And I can say, I just don't really know. I just don't know enough kids to do it now to know, do we still have that program?
Yeah, and they can get credits for work. And if they have enough credits in their junior year, they can start working their junior year.
Okay.
And get credits for working, in their electives.
Gotcha.
Can I ask the student in the room a question around that? Did you know that you could get credit for working versus having a free period?
Did not know that.
Asking for a friend.
Mom doesn't want to know, a friend wants to know.
Debbie, what have you done on the last month?
Yeah.
Moving on, let's keep this going. Oh, well, I'll be fast. I didn't receive that. I didn't do anything. Okay, good. There, Sarah.
Sarah's come up with a list.
I know, I had to write it down because I always forget something. I went to the basketball game, I worked concessions for the football team. I've gone to all the wrestling meets and I'm going to the one on the 16th and whatever those days are. Lowell last week, bless their hearts, sent Cardwell a message and he goes, hey, our Lowell moms want to challenge your Creswell moms to a tug of war.
Great idea.
What the heck?
So I think they are.
Yeah.
He's not ready to compete, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I could have been a mom. Give me a call. Well, okay, well, I mean, that's good to know.
I like how you're like, oh my god, we're all like, when?
So like that date, he posted on SportsU and he's like, Sarah Cox, you're our team captain. I was like, okay. There literally were 6 moms that were there. The Lowell moms had a little bit more. I will recruit better next time. I will recruit better. They were more prepared.
On your team?
What?
You have 15 on your team?
No, I had myself, I had Paige Ledgerwood's tiny mom, Alicia. She is tough. Andrea, oh, what's her? Aaliyah Mendonca's mom.
Oh,
Andrea, okay, so Andrea was,
yeah.
Christy Kruger, myself. Fabiola Archbeck.
Yeah.
And Emily Breslaw. You need some help.
Yeah.
I love all those women, but you needed some help. We needed some different anchors. Anyways, it's true.
We need to get a training program going.
We identified that.
Maybe now you need to start challenging other people, like you need to get a group of people,
Yeah,
and then
there's
you're
a
the
whole-
challenger.
There's a home,
There's a whole pool. Noted.
That's
You guys all need
You're
to
the queen.
January 28th, I expect you to be. Yeah.
Wow.
In the stands.
We can take it up to the highest level, challenge their school board.
Oh, yeah, oh, we're totally gonna win that. I'm sorry.
So good.
Oh, boy. Anyways, they won the first one, we won the second, they won the third, and they are the mother tugger champions.
That's super cute.
That's great. But it was a really cool night to be
That is a
there.
great
They
idea.
dedicated their wrestling room to Coach Billy. And it was cool to see Coach Cardwell and Coach Thurman on the state champion, like on part of the slideshow, like our wrestling team has great coaching.
There.
And then I had a very unique one-on-one with Christy. It was really early in Oregon and it was the most of the time in Mexico.
Oh, gosh.
You're got to know our board, didn't you? Yeah.
And I said, go for it. It was orange juice.
It's voluntary.
It's voluntary. We met really early because Marilyn said, you have to get it done. And I said, okay.
Yeah,
So I did.
perfect. Good job.
That was it. But I'm gonna need you guys on the 28th.
Yeah, remind us. I won't
Yeah.
remember, but text us.
I'm gonna text Cardinal and find out who we're dueling.
Okay,
Let us
6
know.
o'clock in the morning, we're gonna meet out.
There is strategy to it.
Oh,
Somebody else, they just, when he told me that, I can't tell you how many YouTube videos I went and watched on how to tug of war. Didn't help.
You gotta have the anchor in the back squat,
Yeah,
yeah.
Right, but I didn't know if they were gonna have us do it on the mats or on the gym floor.
Ooh, didn't do it on mats, did you?
No, but I
Yeah.
did bring grippy socks just in case.
Yeah, I feel like mats, that could be on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Lacey, did you have a tug of war?
No,
competition?
nothing that can compete with that. I did attend another one of Val Hoyle's virtual town halls just to check in. No education stuff is happening at the federal level that is matching. I submitted a couple questions. She didn't pick them up. I think in large part because I don't think there's much conversation making the headlines that competes with everything else. So trying to track that.
Great, thank you for staying on that.
Absolutely.
Mr. Rogers. Okay. Mary.
I met Christy, I did our leadership, I went to a basketball game for a hot second. I was on a walk, stopped in.
That's it. Okay. I also went to leadership, I had my one-on-one with Christy, and I've had a couple calls, we've had a couple touch bases. I did host a little basketball watch party at my house on Saturday, so that was fun, and we started softball open gyms. I've been participating in that, and that is it. Do we need a policy committee meeting anytime soon?
Well, I don't think so, but
Okay. You double check that, I don't remember.
we checked in before winter break and I did say we were gonna have a policy.
Do we need a policy committee meeting?
No, because we were caught up.
Okay.
Oh,
Cool.
Yeah, we're-
And we're very efficient, so. just
You
check
got your
your- Okay, great. So with that, I will let us be adjourned and I will see you guys in February.